Hello everyone, and welcome to another Cartoon Galaxy rant. I'm Mars Moon, and I like to rant about cartoons. So, just recently I have found out, as well as many other viewers, that some of our favorite cartoons from Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers are not airing on Cartoon Network or Warner Brothers streaming service HBO Max. Instead, they are airing on multiple other streaming services, which is really, really weird. And this is something that I want to talk about. In fact, there's a lot of other people talking about it. But not only do I want to discuss the shows that are launching soon, where they're going to be, but I also want to delve into why this might be happening. And this is something that's been going on for a while, mind you. This isn't something new. This has started since 2022 when the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, came around. And it's only been getting worse and worse henceforth. I've talked about it in many of my other videos. You could check out my Cartoon Galaxy rant folder on my channel, and you will see tons of stuff in regards to me talking about this guy and about this sort of decline. So this kind of thing happening where these shows are not airing on Warner Brothers streaming services or channels is not a big surprise. Before I get into that, however, just a quick reminder to please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I also have a Patreon, since I do also create animations, and those will be up on my Patreon with maybe some behind the scenes stuff. So if you're interested, you could check that out. All of this just really supports the channel and the work that I do. And for those of you who have been supporting me thus far, thank you so much for your support. Without you, this channel would be nothing. Okay, back to the video. So this all starts with one of the newer shows that I also had talked about not too long ago, the Scooby-Doo anime show that's supposed to be coming out at some point. And actually, there had been some updates with this show. They actually changed the name of it, as well as some other design choices, like the Mystery Machine. They made it look a little bit more like the Mystery Machine. And also, they finally announced that Matthew Lillard will be doing the voice of Shaggy, as well as Frank Welker doing the voice of Scooby-Doo. So all of that makes me feel a little more better about this anime that's coming out. But the weird thing is that it's not going to be on HBO Max, nor is it going to be airing on Cartoon Network. It is going to be on Tubi. Now, not that that's a terrible thing, because Tubi is a free streaming service. So that means that it's very accessible. You just have to get the app and you could watch it. You don't have to pay a dime. The worst thing is that you have to watch ads. So to be honest, that's not bad at all. But it's just odd. And I can't say the same for some of the other newer Cartoon Network releases that are going to be coming out as well, or Warner Brothers releases, I should even say. I mean, there's going to be another Scooby-Doo show, the live-action Scooby-Doo, but again, that's not going to be on HBO Max. That's going to be on Netflix. We have the regular show Lost Tapes, which, although the first episode has aired for free on YouTube, from what I am reading, it is going to air the rest of its episodes, I think, in June on Hulu or Disney Plus, since they're basically conjoined at this point. The same goes for the newer Adventure Time Side Quest, which I know y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm not a big fan of the design. Doesn't look as great as the original. But this will be airing also on Disney Plus Hulu. And you know what else is gonna be airing on Disney Plus Hulu? The newer episodes of The Amazing World of Gumball. So what the hell is happening? Why are all these things just airing on, mostly on Disney, but also on other streaming services as well? It's most peculiar, and is also frustrating for viewers, I would imagine, because once again, it's very similar to way back when the classic cartoons that were removed from HBO Max some time ago were going to be on different streaming services. At least that was the fear, I believe. And luckily, they were all put on Tubi to be watched for free with easy access. But if they were going to be on multiple streaming services, that was sucked for viewers because, you'd have to pay for multiple different streaming services just to watch the cartoons you want. However, it doesn't seem to be the case with the classic cartoons. This seems to be the case with the newer cartoons. So now you're stuck having to get a Disney Plus Hulu subscription to be able to watch these newer cartoons. You have to also get a Netflix subscription to be able to watch the live-action Scooby-Doo. You have to, Tubi's for free, so actually that doesn't count. But it's still insane to me. And there is a reason for this. Now, I also do want to add, this is only something that's going on in the US as far as I know. There are other countries that actually have these shows aired on HBO Max. They will air on HBO Max and Cartoon Network. So for the most part, this is affecting the US. It might be affecting other countries as well, but there are some other countries that actually will have it on Cartoon Network and HBO Max. I believe, I don't know the exact countries, but I'm going to assume probably the Asian countries and Latin American countries. And this is because these particular countries are more likely to watch cartoons on Cartoon Network and HBO Max. But yeah, let's look at exactly why this is happening. And it's going to be something that I have talked about multiple times in the past, over and over and over again. And this has to do, again, with money, saving money. Here I bring up David Zaslav. So when he came into the CEO position in 2022, he decided to change things. Obviously, he wanted to change HBO Max. He wanted to make it more family-oriented and I guess more for adult viewers. So you could imagine this is why a lot of the cartoon stuff had been removed and taken out. Also, he's had a big part in why a lot of animations have been cut, have been canceled. I don't know. I guess this guy doesn't care much for animations. It really does feel that way. But it's happened since he's become the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, also, while he's been the CEO, the company has been suffering. It's probably been suffering before that point as well, but it's only been worse under his leadership. The company has been in debt, and this is why Warner Brothers Discovery has been going through this stupid merger with Paramount, and it has to do again with debt. They're trying to save their asses because they are in frickin' debt. Now, also to help them out with their debt, they are trying to cut costs. And one of the ways that they are cutting costs is by not putting certain things on their own streaming service because that comes out of their own pocket. Instead, they are selling the licensing over to other streaming services so they can make
money, this money, that profit will make me wallet fat.
So that is why these cartoons are on Disney Plus and on Netflix, because instead of spending money on putting it out there, they are making money. And that is why they are on the other streaming services. Another reason that I do believe is because of the fact that people in the US, mostly kids, are probably not watching these cartoons as much on Cartoon Network and HBO Max. If you look at, and again, I could be wrong about this, but just looking up the age demographics for each of the streaming services out there, the only streaming service that seems to get more kids watching is, you guessed it, Disney Plus. And this could be exactly why a lot of the cartoons, like Regular Show, Adventure Time, and The Amazing World of Gumball, are being placed on Disney Plus. Now, I don't know why the new Scooby-Doo anime is not one of them. That is a mystery to me, no pun intended. But it's not going to be on there. And then, of course, the Scooby-Doo live action is going to be on Netflix, which makes sense because if it is going to be maybe more for older audiences, which I think it will be, that makes sense for Netflix because Netflix is aimed at, or at least it gets a higher age demographic. You don't see many kids going on Netflix. Maybe some, but not a lot. So just based off of that, this is why we're seeing this. But is it a good thing? Yes, in terms of if things, I guess, are on Tubi, yes, you could watch it for free. But no, in the sense that you have your fans, you have your followers, you have people who watch your content scrounging around trying to figure out where the hell your shows and cartoons are airing. Let's be honest. Fans don't like to be tossed around. Fans don't like to be confused. If you are going to have content, you should have it in one designated spot. And that's it. And that designated spot should be a Warner Brothers streaming spot. Like HBO Max. Like Cartoon Network. Anyway, I wanted to share that because, like I said, I've talked about this so many times. And it just keeps getting stupider and stupider as time passes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. What do you have to say about this? Please share in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care and peace out.